our education system plays an important role in SkillsFuture. It is crucial for our students to be responsive to evolving industry needs. Innovation, creativity, and adaptability are crucial factors in preparing our students for future jobs. There needs to be greater recognition of an individual's skills beyond academic qualifications. What are the skills needed for the future economy? Minister, thank you for being here. SkillsFuture is a long-term strategy to get Singaporeans to develop their fullest potential throughout life. How would it apply to students?
The philosophy behind SkillsFuture is that all of us, whether you're young or you're old, at some point figure out what is the domain, what is the occupation, what is the area that you're really interested and you're passionate about. And you have to deepen the skills in that area, pursue excellence, build mastery. So how do our school system inculcate that? Do we help them understand their strength at a young age and slowly start that journey of discovery? By the time they reach higher education, hopefully some will decide that this is the vocation that I want to do. And after that, you can stack skills upon skills throughout their lives.
Krystal, you've taken a slightly different route, an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Tell us about how you came to where you are and how your journey might continue later.
Entrepreneurship to me came very naturally. I like to joke about this, but it's sort of half true. I find myself quite unemployable as a person who believes in constant optimization and who's very technocratic. I was almost a complete rejection of the educational system. For example, I had deep interest in technology, in literature, in music, and also I wanted to explore different areas that simply weren't subjects. That being said, though, in terms of skills and mastery, all of this was a very autonomous effort on my part. For example, I would, buy CD-ROMs, learn design, learn web development, contribute to my school fees, things like that, just on the side because I come from a humble home.
You went to Polytechnic.
Yes.
So how was the Polytechnic experience?
The Polytechnic experience was, more hands-on. I don't think I chose a course that I was interested in. I was encouraged to do it because I was recognized as someone who was reasonably well-spoken and well-written. So I was encouraged to go into communications, which I found very easy. However, my interest was always in computer science.
What I find interesting about Krystal's story as she talked about her early days in school is that actually some of the very characteristics that made her rebel against the system are going to be valuable for the future economy, for the future world, right? So the self-driving part, the questioning of the status quo.
Questioning, not questioning authority. You added authority.
I have no idea how many times I got detention and suspension.
Don't worry, so did I.
Adding on to what Krystal said, she mentioned that she didn't have the opportunity to explore her passions and interests. And I think that it's because as students, we feel that our immediate concern is to do well in school. So how do you think SkillsFuture can relate to students like me or students in primary school or secondary school to not focus so much on your grades, but try and spend more time exploring your options for the future?
Did you feel that you don't have time to explore your passion?
I was definitely focused on doing well in school. It was of utmost importance, especially in secondary school and primary school. I had the weekends, so that was when I explored my passions and interests because I'm a singer. So that was when I sang during the weekends.
What course are you working on now?
Political science.
You like singing, but you're doing political science. Why do you choose political science when you love singing? Because we do have art schools.
I like to learn about politics, but at the same time, I was singing. Both of them give me joy.
So is it not possible that you actually have more than one interest and you can hold two at the same time? And what you study need not be at the expense of your interests.
If I may just jump in, I mean, Krystal and Farisha, they come from a slightly different generation from us. What was it like going to school before? When we were young, we used to play marbles in community spaces, mixed with different races, religions. It's a chaotic environment, sand, whatever. But in that chaos, we have great fun and we connect. And school was not that bad because it was not a paper chase as it is today. Things have evolved, technology has come in, world has changed. Look at my children, for example. The school puts a lot of pressure, the parents put a lot of pressure because of the ecosystem of education. And therefore, it is very different today. In the old days, it was a very paternalistic, experience-based authority. In other words, parents, because they are 50 years old, they have so much more experience. There was no internet then. And therefore, they know what is good for you. And they're very prescriptive in the way they do it. And systems as well evolve in the prescriptive way. I learned from my daughter, she's 18 now, but 12 years ago when she was 6, she came up to my room and said, "Dad, my hamsters have 3 babies this morning." She was excited. And she said, "What do I do now?" And before I could say, "Hey, presto," she said, "I know, I will Google the answer." And it dawned upon me 12 years ago that I'm no more the one who knows it all and that I can teach my 6-year-old what she needs. She, through this internet era, knows how to access information, maybe better than my own experience. I may know one way, but she could probably Google 3 different ways of what to do. Therein, I realized that the children know a lot more. So the system has to change so that people like Krystal can like school.
We also look at Farisha's example. She had 2 loves. Both had academic institutions that provided formal training. Yet between your 2 loves, you chose to study political science as your weekday course, and then the weekend went singing. Why not the other way around? I wonder if underlying that is that commitment to have proper paper qualifications to get somewhere in life as security.
A few things here. First, paper qualification is important. It is to say that you have gone through all the training and this is to certify you know the skills. Because without that, how would people know how good you are? What I do feel we should evolve towards is that it should not just be one set of academic papers. It's to certify that you can be a tailor, you can be a chef, you can be lots of things, and they all have certification. And there are many people who have put their heart and soul into the education system. So let's not be too fast to say that it's not serving its purpose. I do want to ask you, did you benefit from the system? Even though you may not like it, did it teach you some values?
Well, Minister, when you put it that way,
Yeah.
every single lesson I've gone through in life, every period of time, I've definitely taken value. And on
Yeah.
hindsight, I'm somebody who treasures and is grateful for the opportunities that I've been given.
That's a
For
great
example,
attitude, isn't it? That's a great
you
attitude.
have to.
People around you that is working on the system feel encouraged. I can make it better. How do I make it better for someone like Krystal? Right?
What if you took up a university course? It turns out you hate it. You managed to pass it, but you don't want to do that. How would SkillsFuture help young people like that?
It will always happen. You will go into a program or a course that you may not be totally interested. The system has to evolve. And I think Krystal is a good example. Obviously very passionate about computer coding, but the system maybe did not spot your great interests. We need a system that at least recognize those kind of passion, those kind of maybe innate interests, and not boil everything down to a single number or GPA score or aggregate score and say every deployment is based on that. We need to have more diversity within that system of judgment. You enroll into a course you are not so interested in, then there must be exit points. We have our whole life to learn. So even if you don't like this course, I do believe quite strongly, if you focus and work really hard at it, you'll find that you pierce through many layers of fundamental skills that you will have to learn anyway. And you can also reapply in another area.